from Christmas titles because, as you probably are aware, The Hobbit comes out this week. I have been waiting for a chance to talk about The Hobbit since I started this channel. Since The Hobbit is so very near and dear to my heart, I will in the next little while also make a video on my thoughts on the new live-action Hobbit coming out. But for my main animation vlog, I will be talking about the old Rankin Bass version from 1977 of The Hobbit.
In a hole in the ground, there lived a hobbit. Many ages ago, when this ancient planet was not quite so ancient, long before man recorded his history, there was the time of Middle-earth, when man shared his days with elves, dwarves, wizards, goblins, dragons, and hobbits.
This movie is particularly really special to me. It was not only my very first introduction to Tolkien as a child, but also my very first introduction to fantasy as a genre in general. The very idea of setting a story in a completely other world, a world filled with magic and creatures like elves and dwarves and, of course, hobbits, was all completely new to me when I saw this movie for the first time. So of course, nostalgically, this movie will always have a very special place in my heart. However, it does seem to be one of those movies that people either tend to love or hate. And that's mostly due to its art style and depictions of fantasy creatures and races that we nowadays know by very different interpretations. I don't care what anyone says, I flipping love this art style. Same style as was used for the classic Last Unicorn movie, this artwork all looks and feels fantastical and magical. It really gets across that this story is not set in our world, but a completely different world, filled with all sorts of magic, or at least in a time long past when magic was still about. The style is a very old-fashioned interpretation, however, and most designs are not what would be popular interpretations now. The style looks more like traditional folklore illustration than what would be put in a Hollywood live-action film, which is how most people now picture these sorts of things. Personally, I adore the enchanted, otherworldly look to it all. Now, the story itself should need no analysis or synopsis. Tolkien's classic fairy tale filled with action and adventure and timeless message about the evils of greed and war are brilliant, and this book is, of course, one of my all-time favorites. As an adaptation, it does a fairly solid job of being pretty darn close to the source material. A lot of things are left out, but what is in there is not changed very much, if at all. Really, the only changes made are condensing events to make the story go faster, which is unfortunate as it brings me to the movie's biggest weakness, and that is pacing. The movie flows way too quickly and would really have benefited from not rushing through the events as quickly as it does. Also, some of the things cut from the movie result in some odd and confusing moments since later dialogue sometimes references events that did not happen. Aside from that, however, what is left is pretty darn exact to the book. There are a lot of musical interludes in this movie adapted straight from the songs appearing in the book itself.
Over snow by winter song, and through the merry flowers of June, over grass and over stone, under the mountains in the moon.
I absolutely love the music from this, and if I can ever get my hands on the elusive soundtrack, which was ever only released on LP, I will be very happy indeed. The voice acting and depictions of the characters are all phenomenal and completely iconic as well. And all of these characters will forever be engraved in my mind as my default way of picturing them. This adaptation does have its flaws for certain, but in the end, I love it, and I will always love it.
The greatest adventure is what lies ahead. Today and tomorrow are yet to to be said. The chances, the changes are all yours to make. The mold of your life is in your hands to break. The greatest adventure.
Well, that's it for my review of the animated Hobbit. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please do like, comment, and subscribe for more. In the next few days, I will hopefully have up a video on my thoughts on the new live-action movie, and then next week we're gonna go right back to Christmas movies. So I hope to see you then. Bye!